famed film director John Frankenheimer brings us the Faustian saga of the rise, fall, and ultimate redemption of one of the most controversial political figures.
I know now you all been right about this race thing. Everything's different now. Big Jim just never caught on to that. The folks turn their face against him, and if I don't flat out cut free of him, he's gonna take me on down with him. No. Me and Big Jim, we over with. He was always wrong anyhow. Niggers hate whites. Whites hate niggers. Everybody's always known that deep down. All right, boys. I just let myself get out naked. I'm never gonna get out naked again.
Here to accept the Peabody Award are executive producer Mark Carliner and producer and director John Frankenheimer.
Making George Wallace was really one of the great experiences of my life, and this award is a great, great honor. And I'd like to thank some of the people who are responsible for me standing up here this afternoon. First of all, to my wife, Evans, without whom none of this would be possible. There's Ethel Wynett, who's been my associate for many, many years, who was our associate producer on this picture, and probably without whom I would not have done it. There is a group of executives, Nick Lombardo, Julie Weitz, and particularly Brad Siegel, who just stood up and really just made themselves be counted, particularly Brad, who just took the high road. He wanted quality, and he was willing to took a tremendous commercial risk to put this on over 2 nights so that we wouldn't have to cut the picture. There's Marshall Frady, who wrote a wonderful, wonderful script. And then there's our great crew and cast, particularly Gary Sinise, without whose performance, I mean, this picture would not be nearly what it is. Also, I want to thank Ellen DeGeneres, because she's here and because I admire her a lot. And I would like to thank Mark Carliner, the executive producer who really created this project and who waited for me for a long time. Thanks, Mark.
Filmmakers who deal with biography should be subject to a higher standard than mere entertainment, and that standard is truthfulness. The word history means literally as it really was. And the only way to achieve that measure is by allowing the audience to see the world the way your protagonist saw the world, in his own terms. This was the standard we set for ourselves with George Wallace, and is, I believe, one of the reasons that our film is being honored here today. The other reason has everything to do with the man to my left, who was arguably one of America's most brilliant filmmakers. He, along with one of America's most brilliant actors, Gary Sinise, our dedicated and supportive producers, Ethel Wynett, Julian Cranen, and some wonderfully supportive executives at TNT that John already just mentioned, Brad Siegel, Julie Weitz, Nick Lombardo, Betsy Newman, and certainly Ted Turner, who made it possible for us to make George Wallace at the level we did. To all of them, and to the University of Georgia Peabody Award Committee, thank you for this wonderful, wonderful honor.